The Lord has been rocking my world with the book of Genesis lately. In particular, He's been illuminating so much about what it means to be human in the first few chapters of the Bible. Genesis 1, 2, and 3, creation and the fall. I just want to share a little bit with you about our creation as humans, because it's going to reveal something about what Jesus is probably getting at in this gospel passage. First, though, I just want to show how God reveals how He created Adam in the second chapter of Genesis. First, He creates him out of the dust and the ground of the earth, and He breathes His Spirit into him. And after He does that, He places him in a garden, and He says, till and keep it. In other words, work. Till and keep it, work. And after he works, God gives him a command, and He makes all these trees. He gives him a command, and He says, you can freely eat of every tree, except one. Now, when I was on retreat, one of the words that stuck out to me so much was the word commanded. God actually commanded Adam to freely eat of every tree. He didn't even just say, like, you could if you wanted to. There's a lot of trees, just don't eat one. He actually said, Adam, I command you to eat from every tree, except one. And if you eat that one, you'll die. Sometimes what we do in our life is we self-limit. This is very important. I do this so much in my own life, and Jesus was trying to free me of the self-limiting I do. Have you ever done this in your life of faith or even in any relationship you have? You're like, I can't do that. No, if I'm going to become good, I can't do that thing. And it's a good thing. And we start to make our life like a little bit of a project. And we say, like, okay, I'm going to eat this tree first, and then that tree first, and then that second, and then that one third, then that one fourth. And all the while, what we can start to do is we can start to shrink the garden on ourselves. And then all of a sudden, we can get mad at God and be like, God, you make life so burdensome. You took all my freedom away. And God was showing me, He's like, hey, I did not say don't eat that. I actually commanded you to eat from every tree except one. So don't be putting this blame on me. You're the one that's self-limiting. So we see that Adam gets work, but it's not enough. Men, do you know that for sure? You can have the best job. You can work at it all your life. And you know it's not enough. You can actually have access to all the best food. You can eat from every tree except one. And you know, even if you eat from the best restaurants day after day and have the best job, it's not enough. So what does God do after that? He brings all of the animals and things that He created to Adam, and He wants Adam to name them. There's a really important principle in philosophy that says you cannot name what you do not understand. You cannot name what you do not understand. And so actually, Adam understands all of this creation and then names it. In other words, Adam is doing science. He's doing science. He's doing philosophy. He's using his mind in the intellectual life. And you know what's so amazing about this? He has access to all the best food. He's got the greatest job ever, working in a garden. He's doing empirical science and philosophy to his heart's content. And God looks at him and says, it's not enough. He needs more. It's not good that he's alone. Have you ever been like, you know what I need? I just need a vacation with a lot of books. I just need access to the best restaurants. I just need a job that will satisfy me. Actually, I'm just not working in the right place. And Adam, God puts Adam to sleep, takes a rib from his side, and builds up woman. And Adam gets to see a woman brought from his own self. So good. And Adam says, finally, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, finally. Sick of hanging out with all these dogs and cats. I want to have a person that I can talk with. And Genesis leaves this quiet. Oh, the book of Genesis is as brilliant as it comes. Genesis leaves this quiet. But do you know what happens after that? They're tempted to become like God without God. Adam has all the best food. It's not enough. He has the best job. It's not enough. He has time to do thought and intellectual life, science and philosophy. It's not enough. He has the best woman of his dreams and a great marriage, and it's not enough. He needed God. He needed God. You and I, when we look at our lives, we understand this truth. We know, wait a second, I keep chasing after all of these finite things. I keep chasing after all of these limited, small things, as good as they are. And at the bottom of it, when I discover I keep blaming my spouse. I keep blaming my job. I keep blaming the food that I eat. I keep blaming that I don't have enough time to myself to read or learn. I keep blaming everything else out there as if that's the problem why I'm not satisfied here. Am I making sense? The problem is not your spouse. The problem is not your job. The problem is not the food you eat or how much vacation time or reading you have. The problem is you were made for God, not for man. You were made for God, not for woman. They're only supposed to point to how good he is. Point to how he wants to care for you and protect you. Why do we not need marriage in heaven? Not because marriage is bad on earth, though sometimes it's dysfunctional. We don't have marriage in heaven because we won't need it. Marriage on earth was just supposed to point to us. Wait, this is what your heart most deeply longs for and wants and seeks and searches until it finds restlessly. Are you restless tonight? When you go to your job, you're like, there's got to be something more to this. You have the best marriage and you say, how can I possibly be missing something? You were never designed to be fully satisfied by your wife or your daughter or your son or your husband. It's too big of an ask. Your heart's too big. When we get our priorities inverted, we start asking from our job, asking from food, asking from our books, asking from our spouses and kids and families what they can never provide us. Eternal happiness. It's just not fair to them. So tonight, you came to the right place. You can meet God. That's why we go to Mass. I want to meet God. Because He can fill that space. He wants to fill that space. He's knocking. Who is it? Jesus. Can I come in? You want to come out and play? Let's go on an adventure together. I see that you're restless. I see that you keep trying to put sports or school or getting into the right college or having the perfect job satisfy you. It won't work. It's too big of an ask. But I can satisfy you.